And good evening, Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise fans. We have ourselves a hype race tonight. Penguin8r, neerrm, EizanTayama, and ScratchDragon. My name is Vitasia, and joining me tonight is Demarine. How are we doing tonight, Demarine?
It's good. I'm joining from the road. I'm doing a little bit of traveling, but of course I had to come back to call this race. I'm super excited to be here. We've got four fantastic runners, and they've got a lot to play for right now. Everybody here has a shot at top 12 right now, so they've all got sort of outcomes that they're looking for.
I was going to say, absolutely. Penguin8r is probably in the best shape, already in the play-ins right now, sitting real pretty with 11 points with this race yet to go. Both neerrm and ScratchDragon, though, are right next to each other. neerrm is the highest-ranked individual with 9 points, and he is currently sitting in the first play-in. ScratchDragon is the lowest Z-score runner with 10 points. So they will both be looking to solidify their chances in getting into the top 12. A low score from either of them could keep them in the running or even drop them down a little bit. EizanTayama is a bit of an enigma. Has 5 points currently, but 2 races to go. So 2 back-to-back top finishes or in the top 2 could really play well for EizanTayama. And I think everyone who's currently on the bubble is hoping Eizan makes a couple mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, other than Penguin8r, a fourth place finish is very bad for the remainder of the runners, just because they'll get dropped down either into a play-in race, or in Eizan's case will probably be a legal elimination at this point, considering where the tie breaks are. But it looks like we are about to get underway tonight.
Absolutely. So we have a Young start, which is nice, and Kane. So a couple frontline fighters, although Young is not great. We do have an Earth Crystal to start off with as well. So a possibility of unlocking 2 characters once we get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's some of the best party fixing in these flags with the with the C flag that we're running, so that everyone's got access to everything. And because Fusoya and Edge could potentially be locked up back there, it ends up being a really good start. But they've got to sort of get themselves settled out. The Tower of Zot's not the easiest place to go, and you're not going to go there first, for sure.
Likely not. So we see Penguin8r, neerrm already starting out, checking, and EizanTayama is going to be clearing out Baron. But we see ScratchDragon is taking a bit of a gamble. He's going to go immediately and say, you know, Earth Crystal, I can clear out Troya entirely. I'm going to do it. We see a wonderful bard, and I hope Rivers is watching. Yeah, he's the best bard in the world, I swear, Rivers, in Baron Inn.
I mean, like, the major thing is he can equip a bow. It's not the worst thing right now. There's a strength ring there in Torea, so far so good, and a dwarf axe, which might be handy later. But yeah, no, Edward definitely has his place. You know, again, anybody who can equip a bow is great. Hit points are still low on Yang and Kane, so they'll need a little work to do before they've got enough juice behind them to take some hits.
Yeah, if we get lucky, we can... A decent weapon will make Kane more viable. Young, unfortunately, needs levels to make him really good, so his equipment doesn't necessarily matter all that much. I did see ScratchDragon pick up a heroin rope that is in the basement of Troya, so if we get one of our female characters, that would be very, very nice for him at that point in time as well.
Yeah, there's also a sorcerer shirt down there, which is one of the best pieces of armor for the endgame because of the massive amount of magic resistance that it doles out. So, you know, I'm sure that he's pretty happy for this initial dip being a little bit sort of off-plan. In Damison Armory, though, there was a Zeus Gauntlet. Does cover levels of a sort because it gives you the 10 strength and the 10 stamina.
All right, neerrm looks like clearing out what we have here in, Damsian. And Penguin8r's the first one into Antlion Cave, a popular first spot. Has lots of treasures, and it has a key item with a boss that is designed to be taken out around level 10 because Edward starts out so low when you get him in the vanilla spot. So this is kind of a nice early spot to check, and it's nice to see Penguin8r just kind of following the script at this point in time, isn't he?
Yeah, no, it's understandable. I mean, everybody else is definitely going off script with Toroya earlier, but that's also because you look at the you look at those 18 treasure chests down here, and you just look at the fact that you are just opening box after box. Life potions and cabins on ScratchDragon's side, plus Hourglass too, so getting equipped with a lot of the tools. So it looks like we're definitely going through a bit of an extended looting phase for most of our runners this time around.
Not really. I mean, it's understandable for absolutely all of them. Penguin8r is in a unique spot because he is likely going to be in. If he places well, he could still get into the top 4, I believe. But he is likely going to be in the top 12 no matter what. No matter if he places first to 4th in this particular race. So he has the benefit of being able to play a little bit safe, a little bit predictably, and just let the cards fall where they may. Everyone else is right on that bubble and has to play well in order to confirm their spot there. So they all have to really be making some pretty intense gambles. This race is going to decide a lot of people who are on the bubble here.
No, absolutely. Again, a fourth place finish is going to be devastating to these runners. I mean, for like Scratch or neerrm, it doesn't eliminate them because of their good tiebreaker. Well, neerrm's good tiebreaker and Scratch is already at accrued points. But, the last thing that you want to see is that, you're a third place finish away from locking out into the top 12 and not having to play in one of those high pressure races. And then, all of a sudden you're staring down like, runners like Nightdew or runners like Elmagus or some of the other top names just coming to get you in that winner take all or loser drops out race.
We did see Evil Wall as the boss in Antlion Cave, and Penguin8r already drops him and gets the package, so we have another character available to us. Meanwhile, ScratchDragon went up to Mount Hobbs, and he finds us a Dark Knight Cecil in a freebie fight with the King and Queen of Evelyn.
I mean, we're going to take who we can get right now. I mean, can take a hit. He's not really useful until you go up ordeals and promote to Paladin. But, free fight, a little bit of extra experience, you can't really argue too hard with that, and it's not that long of a fight either.
No, it's not bad, and it's worth about 3 levels when most of your party starts at level 10, so it's a nice little jump up and really makes ordeals at least a little bit doable at this point in time. So I really like the decision to go ahead and do that if you end up banking having to go to ordeals at any point in time anyway. So Penguin8r's already on their way there. ScratchDragon looks like is clearing out. Or did Penguin8r leave?
Yeah, it looks like Penguin8r took the reset out plan here and has decided to go back to looting and looping the world here. I don't think he wants to see ordeals on this run if he can help himself.
Right now, everyone who's on the bubble wants Penguin8r to do very, very well right now in order to take away possible points from neerrm, ScratchDragon, and EizanTayama. They want Penguin8r in that first or second place spot. So everyone, I can absolutely imagine. You can see people in chat saying, "Yeah, great play." I mean, I like it. I do like the play. I'm not a big fan of Cecil if you don't have to go up ordeals either.
Of course, and if you go back later, it's a much easier kill. As we see, Penguin8r is actually picking up Ether 2s over here in Silveria, so useful item for reloading your mana, 120, usually about 120 points at a time.
And meanwhile, Penguin8r looks like he's doing some item shop hopping at this point, checking out to see what kind of item shops he has access to. We did see those hourglasses already, which is nice to see. It means that a lot of the early grinds can be done. There's Starveils and Sirens are going to be available in the Vitasia shop. So our grind is taken care for us if we end up going there.
And we didn't catch this before, but Penguin8r's reward was the package. It's a slow character to get, but it is another spot since it's item locked that you could potentially get the Edge or Fusoya power through the the mid game without too much concern.
So what's your opinion on the package? I know some runners will say they will, especially in this early game, if you get an early package, they will absolutely take any viable character. Other folks will jump into Mist and say, if it's not Edge, or Fusoya, or a white mage if you're desperate for one, I am going to reset out. So what's your opinions on that, Demery?
It's really interesting to me. I am looking for 5 characters there, so I always feel it's at least worth a check at this point. Fusoya are gold and you want them. Rose a pretty much must-get on these flags, so if she's there, you're taking her. The wildcard characters, I'm looking for Tella potentially for grinding. I'm not feeling too bad if I find him there, but I don't, I'm not going to feel put out if I miss out on him either. And then, of course, Quake Kid, who, is Quake Kid, and I don't really see myself passing him up if I can get him after Antlion, just because of the fact that I can grind him up real quick, and then I've got that Black Mage power backing me up.
That's fair. I think everyone has kind of a different strategy in terms of that. And it does look like ScratchDragon is going to at least be checking the package right now. So we're going to get our first hint at what this package is going to end up being. Interesting that he's looting everything right now. I hope he doesn't get anything great. Mute Arrows, Diamond Bangle, and Crystal Armor. So very least some money. And if it's someone that he has to reset out of, it'll be interesting to see what he does. And he's checking everything. This is interesting. Ooh, new dagger.
He'll probably go and make a safety save beforehand. We got penguin8r double right now, while our other 2 runners, EizanTayama and neerrm, are taking on Evil Wall at varying points in the fight. So it looks like they're working their wall down pretty quickly here.
Ooh, and it's a vanilla Kidia. I have a hard time keeping Kidia in this situation. Nice, in terms of just having characters, but we've not picked up any summons at this point in time, and her HP is what one might call lacking in the end game.
Yeah, and her anemic spell growth, or level 2 spells, are locked behind Dwarf Castle of all the places in the world. Patch is committed to this. I guess he wants all the bodies he can get his hands on at this point. She's another character that you can strap a bow to, so it's not so bad. Also, he does have that sword robe from Troya, so, maybe he's thinking that he can get her to a point where she's at least not a defensive liability.
Well, and chat points out, the benefit is we do have those heroine robes that we found. I think there was one in Troya and also one in Antlion Cave. So, you put a bow on her and she's going to be pretty decent anyway. And we see neerrm is the first to the Fabul Gauntlet. We'll see what our boss is going to be here. Looks like it's a Rubicante or Elements. Rubicante.
Yep, with just physical fighters, you do have to be a little bit careful, because when you use the physical fight command, you'll counter with fire too. Also, Glare is going to hurt like heck, but there was a Boreas pickup from the Antlion Cave, so he's just going to crack it and get out of this fight for free. I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's a great use and heads-up knowledge of, I had a Boreas. This is absolutely great. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a Mylan Z fight in the Kaipo Inn. This is kind of a free fight at this point in time. Yeah, he falls over.
However, neerrm got the crystal from Fabul. We're in for a short here.
Well, we still got to find our way up to the moon at this point in time. But yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people will try to save Fabul a little bit, but 3 of our 4 runners are actually already in Fabul. They're going to get their crystal early. This is huge. We're in for a short night tonight.
Yep, Moon got to play, so we can cut those 6 bosses right out of our repertoire tonight. We don't need to worry about any of that. So it's going to be a race to get underground at this point in time, and a race to, find our second half of the puzzle, either our paths or our darkness crystal.
And we did also see coffins that look to be in the Kaipo item shop here. So we have coffins and we have sirens. That takes care of any early grind. We want a white mage at this point in time, but otherwise we're sitting kind of pretty, aren't we?
Yeah, this is gonna play out really straightforward. It's gonna be whichever way we get underground. I see people already cheering for Hookseed because they want this race to continue, and I don't blame them. But you know, they're looking for a way underground so that they can crack those sirens and coffins and go crazy and get a bunch of levels. You know, dash through as many locations as they can, as fast as they can. You know, and then make sure that they can grind off those sirens and coffins as fast as they can to make a big finish happen.
Nightdew in chat pointing out that we actually have a duplicate Yang that is located in the Sand Ruby spot. So that's our one duplicate. That means we don't have to worry about a duplicate Edward being somewhere. We do have that early Earth Crystal. Might be worth a white mage at this point in time.
Oh yeah, Tower of Zod is going to be in all 4 of our runners' futures without a doubt before this seed is over. Just the 2 rolls at a white mage is really what you're going to be looking for at this point in time. You've got your Zerko line all lined up. You know, just if you're going to rush down ordeals to get Cecil online or not. Otherwise, you know, you may be hunting for an extra character or trying to do 4-character strat. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're looking at a seed where we're possibly not going to be picking up a lot of characters, just kind of satisfied with what we have. And that Dark Knight Cecil, since we already have the crystal, is really discouraging an ordeals check at this point in time. None of our runners have been heading over in that direction.
Yeah, the big thing is that ScratchDragon hasn't even gone to Fabul yet, so he doesn't realize that the crystal is there.
I imagine what ScratchDragon is doing right now is something that a lot of runners have been doing. It's kind of the new meta, I find, is that people are avoiding going to Fabul until they can go into the underground and at least check in with Young. That way you get 2 items in kind of one check, which is unfortunate because that one crystal just changes everything on how you play this game.
All right, and the second boss at the Inn of Baron is free. We've got Water Hag, so we're gonna punch Water Hag 3 times and get Edward for free.
Well, Water Hag can do some damage. This is kind of a high attack power spot, so if he gets an attack, it'll be rough. It does look like EizanTayama is going to be our first one climbing ordeals, but 3 people are all in this Water Hag spot all at the same time. Wow. Penguin8r, neerrm, and ScratchDragon are so very close. This is going to be Penguin8r's first extra character. Leviathan, hey, Rydia might be worthwhile.
Yep, ScratchDragon's going to be a happy camper for sure because he's going to have the power of the Sea Serpent on his moment. Other 2 runners did not check the package character, so they don't know who's there. So a little bit of an edge for Scratch here. Still needs the crystal, though.
We know he'll eventually get there. I'm not worried about him eventually getting there. I'm worried about him not being able to do everything else efficiently in the name of the efficiency of double-checking Fabul. And we see the CPU at the first Mylan fight. He has kind of low HP, so only about 2,300 HP, but no healers to get through this mazer.
Yeah, so it looks like he's still attacking the defender first. Some runners in this instance where they feel like they've got good DPS but no healer will crack the attacking orb instead, and then just try to out from Remedy, but I don't know if that's the case here for EizanTayama.
neerrm also is climbing Mount Ordeal, so we'll see what he ends up doing here shortly. Penguin8r looks to be cracking that package here directly, though, as well, so we'll see what his decision is going to be here.
Yeah, he's going to snag up a bandana for the attacking power behind it, and possibly going to probably grab a Mute Dagger as well.
Mute Dagger is so good early on, depending on who you can equip it with. And if you have an Edward and you're not terribly concerned about, I mean, he doesn't have a bow access, he can do some work with a Mute Dagger.
I mean, worst case scenario, you can just you can hand it over to Kane. He can do some work to spellcasters as well. You see Ashura or you see the Mega Sisters, and you'll just drop them like they're not even a concern.
They also work very well on ogres. So if you're in kind of a rough spot, Hookseed, going to that location in Eblan Castle and clearing out the trapped treasure chest there, that ogre fight becomes really kind of trivial at that point in time.
Yep, we've got Kane Jumps doing work on neerrm and EizanTayama's side. They're doing a little bit more work on neerrm's side. Probably has a bit of a better weapon there, but neerrm's going to be the first to take down the large orb, and is just going to have to fill the attacker with arrows here to get the finish.
Penguin8r noped out on Kidia as well. So Penguin8r has said no to Kidia and has said no to Dark Knight Cecil and is immediately going to the Tower of Zot at this point in time. Wow. Okay. I thought Penguin8r was going to be playing things safe, but no, he's keeping his party trim and lean.
I mean, that's, you know, he knows his limits. Penguin8r is an exceptional runner, so I trust that he knows what's up with this play, heading up here early, and, you know, hoping to fill out his party really quickly. ScratchDragon not cracking the Boreas. He used up the Grimoire, and he tried to use a couple of other things. 3 party members got blown away by Fire 2s and Glares, but he does get through, so he'll be getting his crystal in just a moment. Second boss for neerrm is Dr. Lugai and Balnob.
Oh, I have something stuck in my throat. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a loogie here.
Yep, and so neerrm and EizanTayama are in exactly the same place right now, while Penguin8r grabs a Blizzard Spear and, you know, gears up Kane. So we'll see if he can jump his way through this boss over here.
Alright, and it's Dark Knight Cecil, so it's kind of a free fight if he can survive it. I mean, this is going to do a lot of damage, I think.
If he can get Edward out, he's not getting Edward out here, but it looks like Yang's going to have the hit points to survive this.
He's hoping for some sort of something. Yeah, Yang's going to have the hit points.
And of course, EizanTayama cracks the Grimoire in phase 1 of Dr. Lugai and gets Bahamut, blows away that first phase. He's going to move on to the second phase where neerrm is right now. Yang, 13 hit points. That's 13 more than you need to be dead.
Hey, I mean, that's clutch. And Yang gains 3 levels, so it'll help out. Does he have a cabin or something to help him out for this next fight?
Yeah, he absolutely should. There were cabins for sale on the overworld pretty easily, so he should be in good shape there. Or if he's got life potions and tents, he'll be fine that way too.
And that was clutch. So neerrm finishes his Lugai fight. It's going to be the first to the back, and we're going to see what our key item is here on Ordeals to see if maybe our path to the moon is already done.
Yep, Scratch is making the play over to the tower as well.
Luca key. So no. But we do have at least a traitorous Sid at this point in time. So Penguin8r is going to be forced to pick up both of these characters, no matter who they are. So there's a Sid, and I'm sure he's hoping for a white mage at this point.
Yep. And we look like we are going to get rewarded with our white mage as well. We get the weaker of the 2 white mages, but we'll take Porum at this point. Porum is good times. And also knowing that there's nothing on Ordeals that is giving us underground access, whatever thread that the Earth Crystal gives us will bring us underground.
Still waiting for that. I'm not quite done with it. I have a song specifically about Porum that I've been writing. Not quite done. Cannot debut yet.
I'm sure we'll get that one at a later date, I am sure.
Eventually, yeah.
Yep, EizanTayama is punching on Atline right now, while ScratchDragon has a few extra levels on Yang and is just going to stand here and take it, and he's going to be just fine. Not even going to sweat it in a moment.
Yeah, it does look like neerrm is setting up, he's doing some grinds on his Lilith.
Yeah, with the Fire Claw and the Fire Spear, he's going to one-shot those, you know, in a heartbeat. Quick levels on Cecil here, so that he's got a little bit more juice moving forward. And yeah, Alexa LeFay pointing out that ScratchDragon was able to burn a life potion into Rydia just before the Justice speech from Dark Knight Cecil. So she's actually come back to life and is going to reap the benefits of that experience as well, which will be really useful for him.
And we have some monk-on-monk violence happening over on Penguin8r's side. The boss is young, and this is kind of a good spot for it, because he does not hit terribly hard at this point.
Yep, Penguin8r's going to crack the Grimoire and get Mist Dragon. However, that other thing that ScratchDragon is going to have the mana for is going to have Ethan, and just Sea Serpent on Karate Man. Violence will happen then.
neerrm is going to be picking up his Rydia, while EizanTayama is also doing some grinds up here on Mount Ordeals as well.
Yeah, the Siren Song of the Sea is there for everybody at this point in time, it seems.
So we have Scratch. Looks like Wait, what? Oh, he ditched. Okay. He ditched Sid and decided, no, I'm going to keep my Cecil. And I thought he was going to keep Edward over Sid for a second. But no, he decided he's just going to ditch his Edward for his Porum.
And so we've got Penguin8r first of the line here through the Tower of Zot, and ScratchDragon should be shortly behind.
So Rosa learns exit wherever she is. And Eizan is now getting his bardic knowledge here. Penguin8r ends up finding Baron Key. So we continue our fetch quest trying to get to the underground.
And we continue getting to see character slots as well on the overworld, so we're going to keep dipping this linear seed.
Going to be checking these treasure chests. This is considered in this particular flag set with the S2, the items in the shops get progressively better statistically the more they're locked behind key items. So the Baron spot does indicate that it is locked behind a progressive spot. So theoretically, the spots in here should be pretty good. Diamond and Wizard stuff, which isn't horrible.
No, Wizard gear is going to be fine for giving you a bunch of additional magic. Looks like that Rydia may have not necessarily been geared for magic attack, as her Leviathan went off and did not kill the Karate Man at all.
Interesting question. neerrm fighting the worst boss in the game, the old lady in the Kaipo, and she's horrible.
Yeah, he gets his information about Dupe Yang as well, and Penguin on to Barren Waterway.
Yeah, and as ScratchDragon is learning, when you have the heroin robe equipped, yeah, it's great for some situations, but it does do plus 10 to your strength and agility. It also does minus 10 to your ability to cast magic.
Yeah, so Scratch desperately needs to re-equip Rydia before the fight to give Leviathan full power, so it gets those nice strong multipliers so that it can just blast through this fight without thought.
And he's going right back to it. Meanwhile, both neerrm and EizanTayama are climbing Tower of Zot, and Penguin8r is following this chain into Baron. And we have freebie Baron guards to start off with, subbing in for Baigan, who had to take a sit today.
nature of the thing. They came from the inn. They came to their shift. They're working in the castle today. And what do they know? Adventurers show up while they're on a shift they didn't think they'd get work on.
I would hope to get Porum back up here directly, if at all possible. Although they are stopped at this point in time, so probably going to try to life glitch at this point in time as well. Yeah, I think he's setting it up.
Yeah, every point of experience matters, especially because he doesn't know if we're behind a hook seed or a magma key seed yet, and a hook seed means you've got to be ready for anything.
Yep, and he is life glitching. neerrm is fighting the flame dog trapped treasure chest, hoping to get something good. All the best equipment is trapped behind trapped treasure chests at this point in time, or key item locations, depending. So we'll see what he ends up finding here.
Getting Porum dead there. Not really sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You kind of want your Porum to get some experience before a fight that could be a little bit difficult. And our flame dog has something. We're seeing some rune axes and black robe. That's not ideal.
I mean, Black Robe is going to be handy for defense value, at least, if nothing else. Looks like we've got a Strength Ring over for neerrm as he's looting out Baron really quickly before going on to the second boss.
And penguin8r is keeping Porum dead.
Yeah, Rivers McCown is noting that also Omegas had said that this is a slingshot strategy, trying to not level up Porum early, keep her low on the experience chain so that he can give her a bunch of levels after the fact, which is really intriguing to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it works for him, great. I just don't know if that will benefit him a whole lot. Dark Elf, though, I mean, should go down relatively quick. He's already changed here for penguin8r, and he becomes susceptible to a whole host of status ailments at this point in time.
Yeah, I think, again, if penguin8r's setting up the slingshot for Porum here, it's because he knows that Porum needs a ton of hit points to be a viable character.
Yeah, Rexraw pointing out if it's a magma key seed, it could that would be good. But if it's a hook seed, he's gonna need some healing before he dips down into that. But the Dark Elf is dead, so we're gonna see what our character is on penguin8r's side. ScratchDragon is following him down shortly, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, Fusoya. So yeah, bye Porum. Or Edward. He's taken Edward out. Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, Edward's not what we lovingly call very good. EizanTayama's binning Edward for Porum. Like, I think, literally anything is going to be better than Edward at this point in time, to be fair. But penguin8r, of course, gets a lot of options from Fusoya's wide-ranging and eventually complete spell list.
Eventually. Just not right now. Oh, Paul plays poorly. That's a pun that's so bad I have to steal it. Ah, pity the fool.
Are you just sad that you didn't think of that one?
I am incredibly sad I didn't think of that one.
Yep. The major thing is that our runners have killed off an awful lot of bosses already, so Fu is going to come with a lot of spells already unlocked, and ready to fire. So should be in good shape.
And it's a hook seed, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially heading to the underground. It looks like that penguin8r is going to be checking for some kind of one-off spots to see if maybe the D-Mist is located. And he finds himself an Odin Get some quick boss kills. Help Fu power up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Fu's already at 1,300. He's already more than halfway through his development with 8 boss kills under his belt. Other runners will have upwards of 10 to 11 because they have also taken out the Mountain of Ordeals if they have, so...
So Penguin8r now is going to go up Ordeals. Man, don't you wish you would have gotten... but, okay, I was going to say something snarky. Don't you wish you would have gotten Cecil? But, as I'm thinking this out, Penguin8r, in his position that he has in league points, is playing very safe. Even though he didn't want his Dark Knight Cecil and to level up, doing everything that he possibly can, knowing that he has access to hook. Other people are probably doing it. He's just playing a very safe game right now.
Yeah, and Cecil is still up on the mountain if he really wants him. He did not take the fight on Hobbs. So Cecil is not abandoned by any stretch of the imagination. So if he still wants to make the swap, he still has the option. I know Penguin8r is not the most big fan of Cecil, but the power could be out there for him yet. So he definitely has all his options open.
What would it take if you were Penguin8r? What would it take to have you go and grab Cecil?
Excalibur.
Or Crystal, I'm assuming.
Excalibur or better, if we want to be perfectly clear, yes.
Okay, I wanted to emphasize that. Yes. So, yeah. An awesome weapon.
Yep. So neerrm is at the Barren Underground now, while ScratchDragon has wrapped up the Barren Underground and is about to realize what we're up against today. Yeah, and I do point out that Scratch did take the moment to send Cecil to the scrapyard in exchange to get Fusoya added to the... So, looking like going to be a little bit mage-heavy here, which is pretty great.
Looking like he's stacking it up for mages, specifically in order to be able to do those new Reflex dragons. He has a nice tank in Yang to be able to sit there and take the Reflex and take the big bangs as well as he goes through. So, he's setting up very, very nicely for Reflect strats.
Alright, and ScratchDragon's making what feels like not too big of a gamble, but definitely kind of a play at this point after finishing off Baron and getting the hook. He's going to go and check and see if there's a freebie at Odin for him.
And that's the opposite of free, I think, is going to be a Lunar Boss, and it is Plague.
Yeah, I mean, Plague does nothing. It's fine. It doesn't do any damage.
Hey, I mean, Fu already has Meteo. Might as well cast it, right?
Well, the big thing is that if you can kill a character, and then with the character dead, what'll end up happening is that you can raise them up, and you'll get count to refresh from the wall, or from the Plague, which is... the thing is, you do have to be able to kill somebody pretty quickly here.
He does look like Young was kind of at low health. Oh, 2 seconds left. Oh, and he gets the refresh without any deaths. This could be interesting.
Yeah. In fairly good shape, though. neerrm blasting through Dark Elf with the power of Leviathan on his side, while EizanTayama has taken out the 2 guards, and Penguin8r has finished up with the power of Fusoya, just blasting through all of these bosses.
Oh man, Scratch might have at least 1 death here. Yeah, a couple all of them dropped.
I mean, all of them dropping is perfect, though, because now you can do chain reses, you can get your DPS back up. That's actually... I've beaten this fight so many times, it's just that it's really fast, so you've got to be quick about it.
He's going to get a couple more people up at this point in time. neerrm gets his Fu as well. Penguin8r going through his bosses. So at this point, his Fu's looking pretty beefy.
Yeah, and looks like Penguin8r's ready to head underground. neerrm has sent Cecil to the dumpster as well for Fusoya, so, you know, Uncle taking over for the team at this point.
That's interesting that he actually is Uncle Fu because he's Cecil's dad's brother. So,
It's totally how that works. And the big thing is that we're talking about Starveil strats here and getting a Starveil up for the Plague fight. The problem is that you need to get the Starveil up on a non-counted character so that Plague will just sit there and spam count and do infinite refreshes. So since the speed is just so high, what we're going to be doing here, it looks like, is going to be rezzing and killing Porum over and over and over again to do the damage. It's going to be slow. This is a risk. Scratch is definitely gambling here.
yeah, I mean, it's but with Fu casting that Ice 3 that he has, I mean, he'll eventually get it. He's kind of gambling hard at this point in time on this. Meanwhile, Penguin8r shows no love for the Paladin and says, yes, I'm going right to the underground.
Yep, so Penguin8r's gonna be our first runner on the hovercraft at this point in time, with Fusoya at 1700, so definitely had Quake I saw earlier, so definitely has a lot of power backing up, so, you know, I don't think Penguin8r is very afraid of this hook seed at this point in time. A really good Black Mage can take a lot of the bite out of a lot of the bosses in this game.
Well, and he's got Fu. I mean, that's it. I mean, Fu and Porum. So that's a decent Black Mage at this point in time. He's got the equipment. He doesn't have the MP for the long sustained fights at this point in time, but I think he's in pretty good position at this point.
I mean, if you nuke it, you know, it'll go down. That's the biggest thing at this point in time. Even the high hit point spots down here, you know, are gonna take a handful of nukes and go down. neerrm is on the same gamble as Scratch is, though, right now.
Oh, and Scratch finally gets it down with everyone up, so nice little level boost for those folks there. It is rewarded with up and...
I mean, as rewards go, that's 3 key item rolls instead of 1 from the Sylph Cave spot once you do get underground. And Penguin8r and Rosa here as the character for the hook.
Yeah, and it was a red-robed enemy there. Were that the Dark Imps in the Rubicon spot?
Yeah, Red Robe I think could be Imps, could be Millen Z. Or Millen Standard, but Millen Standard was at Mist Dragon. Did we see? And we saw Millen Z already, correct?
Yeah, we've already seen Z, and I believe that's Purple Robe. So I think Red Robe we're looking at is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're looking at Dark Imps.
Hourglasses for everybody!
I mean, that's exactly something you want to see if you're taking a gamble down here with an early hook. You want to be able to see something that you can cheese on that particular fight.
I don't know, I don't like calling it cheese, I like calling it strategy. It is a strat. Dark Imps hit like absolute freight trains in this spot, so you're probably going to lose 2 or 3 characters before you get the stop off, so you've got to be a little bit careful with who's going to cast it. And for a couple of people who had to step away, asking about what Plague had, Plague has got the pan for ScratchDragon, possibly for neerrm in a moment here, as he keeps flaring off nukes here.
Yeah, so neerrm's kind of in a similar spot that ScratchDragon was. This might take him a little bit, but he'll be happy reasonably to see the pan. I think he was really hoping for the Dark Crystal at this point in time, something to get him through.
Penguin8r remembering to flip his party back from his ordeal stay, and finds Bahamut's the first boss as well, so, you know, a tough one of a sort, but you can either deal or you can bail your way through it, and both are going to be just fine. And amazingly enough, Fusoya with the Sorcerer actually has enough magic evasion to not get mega nuked. 2 walls reflect the rest of the necessary damage. Bahamut goes down quick and easy. And Penguin8r doesn't even bother with a save here. Is just going to go and throw an Hourglass and mop up real quick. Yep, cast Stone, and, sends all the imps immediately to Instant Deathland. No problem there. Penguin8r looks at those 2 bosses, there's... I'm good, I'm done, I'm underground, 44 minutes.
Now, Penguin8r is going to be in great shape unless hidden behind that pan is going to be just whatever we need to progress to the moon, that Darkness Crystal. So he'll be he's in really solid shape. And I think a lot of people on the bubble are very, very happy as they're watching this.
Yeah, like the only bad outcome for Penguin8r right now is if past Darkness Crystal are both hiding behind the pan potentially, and that's unlikely at best.
Yeah, that's a low % chance at that point in time. So the rest of our runners are checking some of these other places. neerrm and Scratch beginning their descent, finding a cat claw and a samurai armor there. Keep in mind, Penguin8r did not check any of the treasure chests. Scratch did find the one we were hoping not to see, or maybe hoping to see if you're hoping for some levels. And Penguin8r immediately going to the Fey March.
Yeah, that key item requires 0 effort whatsoever, and maybe he'll find more free bosses down here, who knows?
I mean, what free bosses do we have left? We've seen Dark Imps, we've seen Dark Knight Cecil, we've seen King and Queen of Ebland, we've seen Water Hag. What free bosses are left?
Wyvern? Wait, no, that's the opposite of free, I apologize.
That's the opposite, yes.
Alright, neerrm adds Rosa to his entourage. Of course, I think upgrading from Horum, and is going to be our second runner to head into the Tower of Babil here. The free item at the Land of Summon Monsters looks to be a Twin Harp.
I really want to go there. I'm just on record to say, I really want to know what our Song of the Night is.
Everybody down in chat is getting super excited because that's what we're here for, right?
I mean, I don't see why not. If you're already in, I think your primary job should be to make chat happy. And I know I'm not alone in that sentiment.
Yep, EizanTayama is able to set up his reses for the Plague Fight. Looks like he got a late res and was able to get most of his characters, but not all of them dead, so in good shape, getting some resets.
Did Penguin8r check? I didn't actually see him check the bosses.
Maybe he realizes he did the math that like so many free bosses are off the table right now that he's just like, yeah, it's gonna be like Volvalis and Golbez.
Oh, he does find Kirtus and Bacchus wines here at the Tamra item shop, so that'll be handy for him.
Yep, Bacchus wines being the core of the Berserker strats, if that's what you're going for. Otherwise, it's super handy for, getting through fights where you just want to get a bunch of physical defense working.
And Mute Arrows and a Lilith Rod located in the Tamra weapon shop, so those are both kind of nice as well.
Yep, just trying to get a bunch of utility handy at that point in time. neerrm is going with damage strats here for Dark Imps instead of just stoning them, which is just gonna work just fine with Quake and Leviathan. EizanTayama is about to get his pan, gets his chain reses together and his Fusoya attacks together, does a bunch of damage and is in good shape.
It would be really nice. I mean, this is something that I would probably have set up instead of using Quake and Leviathan, probably like do it once or twice to lower their HP, but then try to get some life glitches off on them. That would just ramp up how much experience you get from this and really minimize how much grinding you would have to do.
Yeah, but the amount of time our runners have spent up on the overworld, they were able to get a lot of levels, which has been, also a lot of key items to help them set up their grinds. Penguin8r sees Rydia, and knowing Penguin8r's certain love of reflect strats in record times, is looking to add her to the party at this point.
Wow. Okay. So Penguin8r going for Kidia at this point in time. We will see how this plays out. neerrm right on his tail in the underworld. And I believe ScratchDragon is also working his way. Scratch is working with a slightly underpowered Fu right now compared to what neerrm and Penguin8r were dealing with. In fact, Penguin8r has a fully powered up Fu at this point.
Yeah, as does EizanTayama, but it's really not going to be strictly necessary at this point in time. Again, Bahamut drops to Starveils, and Dark Imps will drop to being stopped and AoE'd, or stopped and stoned, or stopped and, basically beaten down by whatever methodology you have that is best.
Now, neerrm is a little bit ahead, or taking a different track than Penguin8r, because he does have the pan. He's able to go over here to the Sylph Cave and immediately turn this in right away. So if this ends up being our moon access, this could be big for neerrm and ScratchDragon, who did this already.
Yep, EizanTayama also does have the pan in hand as well, but is definitely lagging behind a little bit right now in terms of underground access. First up is the Sand Ruby, which is a key item, which is great, but is a blank key item because we know the character is Yang. ScratchDragon throwing up some Starveils, so going to get his protection going here, and is going to attempt to take apart Bahamut. And of course, I think anybody who's been watching the league knows that Penguin8r going to get Rydia and killed off that boss. I'm assuming he's taking Rydia, we have not seen yet, is probably the legitimate least surprising thing I'm going to be seeing all night.
Yep, he ditches Kane for that. He's going 4 mage strats and Fu and a Young. So Young with his high HP threshold will be great for reflect strats. It's about as perfect a setup as Penguin8r could possibly want.
Yep, grab some coffins to help jumpstart grinding. ScratchDragon, I'm not sure where ScratchDragon got Odin from, but he has Odin right now.
And he's... Meanwhile, neerrm is saving. Looks like he's going to take a dip in, see what these bosses are in the lane to summon monsters. And if it's a demist, is it? No. One free boss ends in guards. So...
Well, actually, Vitasia, we've already seen guards. This would be Baigen down here. Or excuse me, this is Baron guards. Wow, this one's still free. Oof. This is Kaipo soldiers. So we did actually have a free fight down here that Penguin8r ends up skipping.
Yeah, if this ends up being something, Penguin8r is going to be kicking himself a little bit later. I tend to think that he was following your idea there at that point in time, where he was just trying to... He did the math. There was no free bosses left, except for this one.
Yeah, the other boss looked like Octomom, which is definitely not free. Gonna do mammoth amounts of damage.
Boo. I got your pun. I see what you did there.
The subtlety is the key to a good pun, I'm sure you're aware.
Very, very well done. Meanwhile, yeah, Leviathan and the officer's going to run away. Penguin8r looks to be starting a grind at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely wants to get some quick levels on his casters here. Started and survivable, probably looking at a dwarf cast.
Scramble them eggs, and it's just a legend sword. I mean, another key item, which he's getting close to 10, isn't he?
I mean, that looks like it puts him to 9 at this point in time, so...
And we absolutely have to have at least one more key item to get to the moon, so we're guaranteed to get 10 key items before needing to do a real serious grind up for Zemus. So, I mean, it's looking good for our runners right now.
Yeah, neerrm is going to go and finish the pan drop, is going to go talk to Sheila for her 2 key items, and if she's got the way out, then this is a full go mode.
Well, we presume neerrm will have 10 with the Yang turn in, because we don't know. We don't know what item Sheila's going to have for us today.
I mean, the big thing, though, is that with Crystal on Earth, we do know that there's 6 spots on the moon that we are not going to need to see, and so it's very likely that this should get access.
I mean, X-Cal, so Cecil there.
And a pigtail, so there's your 10th key item, but it's an adamant. I'm going to say just an adamant armor, but it's an adamant armor.
Did he ditch Cecil? Because I feel like that would be something you would want right now.
Yeah, I think everybody but EizanTayama has been Cecil at this point in time. EizanTayama, of course, is going to be life glitching these Mad Ogres for, as I think ScratchDragon had done before. Scratch is about Twin Harp here.
All right, so Scratch gets his Twin Harp and is also set up. Inventory management is so key for this particular set of flags, because you get a ton of stuff. You're hoping for anything that comes under the sun, but you just pick up a lot of stuff that I will, lovingly call junk.
I mean, that's kind of how Final Fantasy IV just goes in general, just with the sheer density of items and limited inventory space. It can fill up your inventory quickly.
So neerrm going to go ahead and get his adamant armor. It'll be interesting to see who he places that on. He's still set up mostly for what looks to be Berserk strats. He has a pretty fighter-heavy fight ahead of him, the opposite of penguin8r, who has 4 mages.
Yeah, and penguin8r getting this early grind here, because he does not have the pan, so he does not know that there's 3 key items there. Know that he's not going to get anything from it, and he also doesn't know that there's a free boss in Land of Summon Monsters that also only has a legend sword back there.
ScratchDragon also doing that free boss, so he's going to be in good shape. Yep, neerrm is going over here to grind.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting set up. I mean, our options are, again, Octomom, I think, Nightdude's got it right. Octomom is at Leviathan spot. We've got the Luca key in the hands of our runners. We've got Keyless Tower for our Intrepid Souls, Dwarf Castle, and Twin Harp back on Earth.
Question in chat from Overzealots. Does Kid Rydia's HP scale properly? Thought you needed to do Dwarf Castle before grinding. It does not matter if it's Kid Rydia or Adult Rydia. The HP will scale just the same. The only thing Dwarf Castle unlocks would be her level 2 spells, her Fire, Ice, and level 2, and the additional summons that are associated with it. So, and in exchange, she loses her white magic and the ability to equip stabs.
Yep, neerrm is putting Artemis arrows to good work here, just blazing through some eggs here with one-shots from Rose's bow. EizanTayama, of course, gets some walls up, reflects back Mega Nuke, takes out Bahamut. so halfway underground at this point in terms of boss progression. And ScratchDragon is about to get a Legend Sword.
I said stabs, but I should have said staves, didn't I? I apologize. English is hard.
They're both correct, though. It's fine.
It does look like one of our runners, I think Penguin8r, is using Rydia with Heroin and a Dragon Whip on those eggs, which does do quite a bit of damage.
I mean, I think the big difference, though, right now is that, as you can see, neerrm is getting that double experience right now, so he's getting 68k per egg. It looks like he is just doing his grind now that he's got 10 key items, so that he can go ahead and, get things wrapped up.
Absolutely. Scratch is on his way over to turn in his items to Sheila, who, I mean, he'll be happy that he'll also be at 10 key items at that point in time. Penguin8r's position is slowly sliding away. We'll see. I mean, this grind, he could be doing it much faster if he followed some other routes. That Odin is really proving to be key with that pan. I apologize. I disparaged it so much at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to argue with what was 1 key item check turning into 3. And the fact that you got 2 out of the 3 spots giving you key items, again, knowing that Moon's out of play, is just super handy and is just, again, catapulting our runners to 10 key items.
So the question becomes, who will be making the plays? Who is going to turn in that twin harp? And is it Scratch? No, it's not Scratch.
Yep, Scratch looks like he's going to go ahead and get his adamant armor, though. Again, you want that huge defensive power to help you push through the remainder of the seed.
Yep, that's bad news for everyone else on the bubble. neerrm is right there on the bubble. A first place finish would absolutely put him in pretty safe territory. So, who's chat rooting for? I want to get a quick tally. Who are you guys rooting for in this? Are you on the bubble? Are you rooting for neerrm or Penguin8r or Eisen to come from behind here? Who you got?
EizanTayama is our last runner underground at 101. Yeah, neerrm with a win would get to 13 points. Would not only be in, but would be in super comfortably at that.
And Alexa LaFay says, candidly, chat's rooting for Wyvern. All right, so we have our first dwarf castle check, and there's a Demus back there.
All right, well, we found value at Dwarf Castle of all the places.
I mean, it's still on the table. That could be big. So this is going to be worth 2 key items here instead of 1. Plus, I think he's pretty comfortable with this party. But just in case you're not, if you want to ditch Iridia, you can.
All right, and neerrm with his full grind, fully ready to rock party is headed into Dwarf Castle as well. So he's going to see value at Dwarf Castle, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that.
Yeah, neerrm's right on his tail.
And we're going to see neerrm with this fully ground out party. We're going to see Miss Dragon go down in a puff of smoke real fast.
And here's a Vovalis in the back with an edge. Oh, do you? Okay, yeah, I can see Scratch ditching Rydia at this point in time. neerrm with his grind already done.
Yep, quick and painful Miss Dragon kill there. Just runs through that fight in a hurry.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for ScratchDragon at this point in time. neerrm does have Kane as well, so it'll be a pretty quick fight for him as well. EizanTayama finding all the value that Sheila has for us. Excalibur, the sword of evil's bane, held by a housewife in Fabul.
Yeah, I mean, holy swords everywhere. That's how this works, right? Yep, Scratch points a nuke at Volvalis, who can't get out of the way and dies. neerrm points a nuke at Volvalis, who can't get out of the way and dies. neerrm, of course, happily passes up Edge with a fully ground out party that he is very happy with. penguin8r's grind also done, and so he's going to go in Dwarf Castle and be our third runner to do that, while EizanTayama is going to go and finish up the pan.
Alright, so the item that we ended up getting was a ninja shirt, so no value there from King Gaiot himself, but we still have that Demus turn, don't we? And ScratchDragon is clearing items in Dwarf Castle. This is the advantage neerrm had. Is neerrm going to go back and fight an Octomom?
Yeah, I think neerrm is going to go and try and take down the giant octopus here. Looking to make a play. Even though Miss Dragon is free, it's a, super quick check.
Penguin is... What is Penguin doing?
penguin8r is currently doing the no 64 floor glitch, or doing the 64 floor glitch from the speedrun. This is a thing that's about to happen.
You're going to have to fill me in. I've not seen this, and I'm not familiar with the vanilla speedrun, so you're going to have to help me out here.
So, I don't want to spoil it for the people who have not seen the video of it before, but normally you can do this particular glitch and go through the game and, and then rip the game over your knee, go through a lot of the areas you're not intended to, and eventually you get a spell on Fusoya called Upco, which allows you to instantly kill something, which you use to instantly kill Zeromus. It works about as well as you think it would in this.
Is that turned
on? Wait, no, Swimmy is mentioning he may not be going for Upco, he might just be trying to get a... He might be trying to go get a teleport to the end of the game. He's using the 64 floor glitch to access Zeromus. He's not going to... He may not do the Upco kill here, and is just trying to get to the end?
Wait, what?
This is not a strategy that I have seen before. This is a little bit unprecedented right now. I'm pretty sure penguin8r knows that Upco doesn't work, but he's gonna do this to get to the moon.
But my head hurts. This
is something else. This is not something I expected. neerrm, of course, while we're losing our minds here, takes apart the octopus, and from it gets the tower key. EizanTayama doing the free boss down here. The Scratch, but I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah, I'm curious. Everyone else is... neerrm looks like he's getting ready to dive into Luca, into the sealed cave. And yeah, penguin8r's now on the moon.
He has 64 floor glitched his way to Zemus. He's a speedrunner of this game, par excellence. I have Alexa LaFay here behind me, losing her mind.
Alexa, be quiet! Or freak out, because I'm freaking out too! What is this? Okay, for people who are clipping this for later, this is a first. This has got to be a first in Highway to the Zemus-Zone.
Yeah, he and of course for everybody watching, he executed the glitch beautifully, like perfectly.
I mean, my brain hurts right now. My brain is in so much pain right now. Just seeing that.
Yeah, that is not something that we expected to see in this run, to be sure. I didn't even see what came from the spot for neerrm from the sealed cave, because I missed it.
As Supremacy point out, in the league rules, they specifically call out this glitch. Can I walk through $64 to get to Zemus? We dare you to. He dared. It worked. And Zemus is Frostmas?
One of our old school sprites, and penguin8r setting up his reflect traps in the silk web, so he's gonna make it happen.
penguin8r was what I would call, if not, I mean, he was not in a very good spot compared to the other runners prior to the execution of that glitch. But now he's on Zemus, and I don't know what to think. And now he's reflecting off Rosa, because why not?
I mean, if you're gonna swag, you might as well swag all the way. Yeah, neerrm did get the rat tail I'm being updated on as his item from the sealed cave, and he's warping out right now. Overworld drops to do after this.
Question in chat, how early in this run was Penguin considering using that glitch? If I had to guess, like, we got early Crystal in Fabul. Like, after a little bit, once he found that he didn't have any access to the moon, I can absolutely see him saying, well, guess I'm doing this.
Yeah, I've got access to the moon because I'm underground, which is pretty wild to see.
neerrm finding the pass from Rydia's mother.
So Miss Dragon has the value. We're good. We're ready to rock. neerrm is gonna get there right now. It's not gonna catch penguin8r's kill for sure because this is super smooth. But will be our second runner to Zemus at this point.
And there it is. penguin8r with the win, and officials SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 53 seconds. GG penguin8r. Man.
Yeah, not gonna mention anything in IRC chat to the other runners, of course.
I gotta hear this interview.
But we are gonna hopefully get Penguin8r in here in a moment to talk about this.
I mean, everyone who's on the bubble is really happy about this. Yeah. So, we'll see if Penguin8r once he joins us.
Yep, ScratchDragon. However, while Penguin8r joins us, we do have a quick photo finish. ScratchDragon and neerrm are there simultaneously, nearly to the frame.
Yeah, this is going to be a photo finish here between neerrm and ScratchDragon. Meanwhile, we are joined by the crazy man, Penguin8r.
Hello.
GG Penguin8r, you I mean, if we hadn't seen it all from you already, you just pulled out the last of all the stops, it looks like, to jump in front of neerrm and ScratchDragon, who are actually just starting the Zeromus fight right now.
Well, I had been sitting on that one, waiting for the moment to use that.
I mean, everybody's torn in half right now. You've got people who don't believe that you should have done it. You've got people who are all sorts of hype right now. So when did you think about breaking out 64 for this run?
As soon as I saw that crystal earlier, that's what really enabled it. It's basically bypassing the need for darkness crystal or pass. So seeing the crystal in the overworld, kind of thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of what we assumed. It's like early crystal when you're still hunting for moon access, and they ended up finding. Let me see, Mist Dragon had the pass, and Mist Dragon was locked in Dwarf Castle, so it was kind of in an out of the way spot once you ended up getting to it. But man, it you did your grind, and then you went and. We were confused for a second, and then Demarine had to educate me, because I'd never seen that glitch live.
Imagine most people haven't, who've been just watching Free Enterprise.
Yeah, as soon as I saw you walking the stairs in Dwarf Castle and I realized what was happening, I was already losing my mind a little bit seeing it in the Free Enterprise race.
And neerrm and ScratchDragon are both doing very, very well. I gotta give the edge to ScratchDragon. He's got 3 melee fighters. neerrm only has 2. He's already got a dead Rydia. This is not good news for EizanTayama, who kind of needs 2 top finishes in order to get to where he's going, and he's looking a solid 4th right now. But Penguin8r, you just made a lot of people on the bubble really, really happy. You know that, right?
I suppose. I wasn't really thinking about those people, I have to admit. Thinking mainly about myself. So I think I should secure top 4 with this one.
Absolutely. That gives you 15 points. You are in first place, and the only person who can even come close to you is Kobagi, who's still running the table at this point in time. So yeah, you've secured top 4 with this win.
Hey, Vitasia, apologies for the correction here, but he's actually going to be at 13 points, which is still going to be in really good shape. The Alexa LaFay catching me with my microphone open so I can talk. Alright, neerrm trying to get things settled down over there. Kane is taking a nuke. He's trying to keep his hybrid strats moving here with young Rydia.
Right, I think I'll let you two finish commentating this close finish right here. Thanks for commentating.
Well, thank you. The pleasure is all on this end. Believe me, I am just happy I got to be a part of it. And GG Penguin8r, if you like what you saw from him today, go ahead, give him a follow here on Twitch. neerrm's in a bad spot.
Yeah, neerrm not nerfing, got high rolled really hard. Again, trying to get those hybrid strats off the ground, trying to keep his party alive and well, and it didn't quite work out as Kane went nuke into Big Bang with the two mages also going down, so getting absolutely crushed, while ScratchDragon's safe Zerker strats a little bit slower, but definitely steady. Full party in play, Yang taking a nuke, no big deal, probably lose about a little bit more than half his health. So holding together just fine right now.
And getting ready to throw an Excalibur with Edge. EizanTayama just now picking up his Edge, so we'll be getting his... eventually we'll be getting his passes right there. But we'll have to grind up a little bit. Even Rose is still a little bit underpowered.
Yeah, of course, for those of you who are looking to hear more from us about Penguin8r's runs, I'm still a little bit stunned to silence here.
Yeah, I can't even at this point in time. I'm like a sad white girl. I can't even right now.
Yep, neerrm's still in recovery mode, of course. Lost his wall to a black hole and then nuked his Yang for 7 grand. ScratchDragon again, smooth, steady, slow, consistent double white mage strats. ScratchDragon is going to go ahead and get this in the medio phase and take this home in just a moment, I believe.
Absolutely. ScratchDragon at 10 points with this third place win will jump up to 13 points. He's going to put himself in great position here. He really needed this particular win to keep him in the safe zone, and with this second place win, ScratchDragon is in good shape right now. GG to ScratchDragon.
Yep, second place finish, 3 points, goes to 13, which will lock him into the top 12, so I'm sure he's going to be really pleased when he hops in for his interview. neerrm has gotten his fight recovered for the most part here, with the Power of Life 2 getting back to 4 party members. Again, 2 Zerkers, slower than 3, so he is still hacking away. And EizanTayama is swapping in Edge and is still kind of trying to make things work right now. Yep, and so ScratchDragon's official time was 1:20:20, which is solid for sure.
Yeah, you got to be feeling incredible about a 1:20:20 time in these particular flag sets in the round of 32 flags. Just an absolutely amazing run. Early Crystal will do that, especially with past where it was, but Scratch is going to be happy no matter what at this point.
Yeah, that second place was what he needed to get into the top 12 for sure without any questions.
And speaking of, ScratchDragon joins us in chat. GG ScratchDragon.
GG everyone. GG Penguin8r. Goodness, I thought I was ahead, but 8 minutes. Jeez.
So just so you're aware, you were ahead. You were the first. You were right there with neerrm. The two of you reached the Romus at exactly the same time, frames apart. Penguin8r decided that he was going to go ahead and pull one last trick out of his bag, though, and went for the 64 floor glitch. Pulled it off and used that to pull ahead and win this race.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Goodness. GG's to him.
Yeah, it kind of took us all by surprise there. You're going to have to go back and watch the VOD because not only are you going to be hearing us probably yell loudly into the screen, but also Alexa LaFay, who's in the background.
This sounds spectacular. I have to go back and watch it. I was really happy with my routing, except when I died to Yang, because I had a misunderstanding of how to kill the fight early. Completely forgot I needed Paladin Cecil for that. But other than that, I was really happy with the way I routed out this entire seed. So No, I'm was pretty happy about this one. I'm pretty happy that I don't have to worry about the play-ins.
Yeah, that was a beautiful part. That was just beautiful execution all the way around on your part. Other than that one little mishap, otherwise this was a beautifully executed race on your part. Routing looked good. Everything was sound. Bosses dropping left and right. Well-timed grind. A little bit of everything. So definitely a fantastic showing. Definitely good textbook stuff here, backed up by a fantastic Trizerker fight to end it.
Thank you very much. Just a quick question. Did anyone do ordeals?
Yes, several people did do ordeals.
Okay. Because it was sitting in the back of my mind the entire time. I'm there like, okay, they've given me 3 crystal armors, Excalibur, all of this. It's like the game is telling me to do ordeals, but I was there like, no, not doing ordeals. I kicked Cecil to the curve a long time ago. I don't want to do ordeals. If I lose the race, it's because I didn't do ordeals.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be a fair assumption at that point in time. But yeah, we had some people do ordeals, and there was the Excalibur that you ended up finding at some point in time from Sheila. But, I mean, it hasn't made that big a difference, so I think you were safe.
Yep.
GG's, I definitely have to go back and watch the VOD. It's incredible. 64 glitch.
Yeah, but I mean, you should also just go back and watch your own run as well, because you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the round of 16 as well, and I look forward to your races.
Thank you. It's still weird hearing something like that, because we have such great racers in, penguin8r himself. Rivers still needs to play out his matches. Supremacy is scary. I mean, we have a lot. It's a pool of sharks at this point.
I mean, there were no freebies going into the round of 32. There are still no freebies. It is not getting any easier. But again, I look forward to seeing what you can do. Any last thoughts from you, Scratch, before we can get neerrm up in here?
Everyone who's watching, if you're not playing this, you should be playing this. It's very much fun, and it's not nearly as hard. We have many different seeds, and we welcome everyone with any amount of questions. Even someone like me who had no experience with Final Fantasy IV can make it to the round of 32, and who knows how far I'll make it. So those are my last thoughts.
Thank you so very much, ScratchDragon.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right, everyone, that was ScratchDragon. If you like what you saw from him, again, follow here on Twitch is the easiest way to directly support our runners. We're going to try to get neerrm in here. I think he's calming down a little bit here. neerrm is going to be in an interesting spot. He's at 9 points right now. Second place will give him 2 points, up to 11. The interesting thing is, though, he's kind of in that nebulous zone, but he has a great Z-score of negative 1.91. So that's going to jump him really to the front of the line. The only person with 11 points higher than him will be El Magus. So he just jumped quite a few runners. I think he put himself in the safe zone, but he's going to be sweating things a little bit over the next couple days.
Yeah, he's real close to the bubble for sure. So I'm sure we'll see how that ends up playing out at this point.
Meanwhile, EizanTayama looks to be, he has his pass, he has his crystal, he's getting ready to do his Z fight, not giving up on it, has seen the dot duns, but says, now I'm finishing this. And all of chat is sad because we never got to see a twin heart, but that's okay.
Yeah, and of course this will be tough for EizanTayama, moving to 6 points after 3 races. Will absolutely need a win, and I would have to kind of work out how the math works out for him. His tiebreakers are better than Dragon Dark and Dusty Griff, but he gets outclassed by Catch-23 in terms of tiebreakers. So this result is going to probably put him for a win for 16 or 17 to 20 play-in at best.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of the, in his last race, he's going to be the spoiler. He needs to get first place. It's first or bust. So on EizanTayama's last race of the entire tournament, he's going to be making some crazy gamble. That race is going to be coming up here on, looks like August 28th. It's going to be our next race. So here on Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on RPG Limit Break, it's going to be Kobahi, which has still been running the table, Kirchin, Rivers McCown, and EizanTayama. That is an absolute killer run to try to have to get first place against.
Yeah, especially because you've got Kirchin, who's still in the running as well, at 7 points, and so he's going to be hunting for a W there to try and catapult himself up into that 11 pack as well with his great Z score. But even second place there would be great for him. But that's to come. But we are gonna see what our man EizanTayama can do against Zeromus now.
He's in a great grind spot right now. He's got Excalibur, Cecil, Young, Edge. He's in a great spot. And joining us now is neerrm. Man, how you feeling, neerrm?
Not my best run, especially after I forgot to check Mist after beating Mist, and that was the way to go, so that was a little unfortunate.
I gotta tell you, you and ScratchDragon walked into Zeromus hand in hand. It was not more than a frame or two different between the two of you. You just had he had 3 frontline fighters, you had 2, and you struggled a little bit through the Z fight. It was very close up to that point in time.
Yeah, it was probably the worst Z fight I've had since this randomizer came out, so I'm not happy with how that went at all.
So, in the interest of full disclosure, we should inform you.
I'm already aware.
You already know.
The admin chat is lit, we'll just say.
Yeah, we'll leave that for later. Certainly, I'm sure that there's going to be discussion about what occurred today. But still, we don't want it to detract from the runs of the runners, obviously. You did have a great run. I know the Z-Fight breakdown was not ideal, certainly. I mean, your routing, other than the Mist Dragon issue and not making that quick check, otherwise was really good. You were early underground. You were able to take advantage of Fusoya, using the tools you had at hand, so no major issues otherwise, which is a really nice run.
Yeah, there was a lot of early bosses on the easier side, and I wanted to ramp up for Earth Crystal, and so I gave myself as many tools as possible to fight the Earth Crystal bosses, and then they were free, so I was like, uh-oh, I'm probably behind. But I didn't really hit any stop gaps at any point, so I felt like the run in general went well up until the point to where I didn't cash in on the Mist Dragon, which is a little unfortunate, but other than that, I feel like it went pretty well, and it's always interesting to see when you're not thrown the option of the moon. And it's interesting how it played out. I'm sad that we went into the Zeromus fight at the same time, and it's such a bad fight that it caused such a discrepancy. But it is what it is.
Yeah, might be worth watching. A little bit of party comp, but the third place put you just in the top 12 or right on the bubble. So you'll have to see how the last couple of races play out. But you should at least be in the 13 to 16 race. So I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again soon, which will be excellent.
Yep, it'll be fun to see how it all plays out.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Not that I can say publicly.
We will let you go then.
Alright, thanks for the restream, and thanks for all the commentary. You guys are definitely awesome for giving the tournament as much exposure as we possibly can, and keep it up.
Alright, that was neerrm. Again, if you like what you saw from him, go ahead and follow him here on Twitch. Easiest way to support our runners directly. EizanTayama's got to be getting close here. He's been throwing Cure 4s like crazy. 3 frontline fighters. Excalibur Cecil's been doing work.
Yep, going with the Gear 3 top-ups from Fusoya as well for just a little bit of extra safety. And of course, 3 Zerkers, especially with Cecil packing X-Cal, is going to take us over the line nice and fast here. So EizanTayama with an absolutely beautiful Zeromus fight. And with one last flash and bang, we've got EizanTayama finishing at 133.23, so GG there.
Yeah, GG to EizanTayama. We'll see if we can get him in here. All of our runners really ran solid races. I mean, 133 for the final finisher. That just shows you the quality and the depth of the overall league at this point in time. There's no one who is in this league who didn't deserve to be in it, save one person who's kind of a scrub, myself. But everyone else absolutely deserved to be in this league and could win at any given point in time. Even the best are there.
I mean, don't sell yourself short, Vitasia. I mean, we had the 32 top runners running some fantastic races. Somebody had to finish down there, right? There, just for every winner, somebody is going to have to up out of this league, and that's always tough. But at this point in time, we did get to see 3 different runners who we will be seeing in the future soon enough, who will be advancing forward for sure, and one runner who won't have a little chance to chat about what wall is in front of him to finish out this league.
Yeah, we'll see Eizan joining us very, very shortly.
But of course, while we wait, this was race number 30. So we are coming to the rapid end here. Again, August the 20th night. Kobahi, Kirchin, Rivers, McCown, and EizanTayama, who you saw tonight, will be dueling it out one last time. If you hadn't had enough of Rivers McCown, he's also going to be running on Thursday the 30th as well, against Great White Hope, Fred Coughlin, and Zyrak in the final race of the round of 32. Both of those races will be going off at 9 o'clock. So I really look forward to both of those races. It should be a pretty big finish here, and it sounds like we are joined.
Yeah, EizanTayama joins us. GG on that. I mean, it was a fast seat, all things said. How you feeling?
Pretty bad, because I got to do good Tuesday, but I don't like my chances.
Yeah, we were reviewing the schedule, and that's a killer lineup that you have to go. Kobahi, who's run the table, Rivers, and Kirchin, who also has a first place run. What's your mindset going into that last race?
Just do the best I can, and hopefully I come out good.
Yeah, it's kind of is all you can do. I mean, that was a bit of a tough run from you, all things considered. Just, it'll be a good watch, but a tough watch. You sort of were slipping behind a little bit here and there. But so what are you gonna maybe do in practice or kind of do before your next run to kind of get yourself sort of in order and bounce back from this?
Usually I'm gonna try to do better with my item. I usually don't get it out of control like that with my items, so. Maybe watch how I route it and see if I can do something different there too.
Absolutely. Routing's always a big part of it. Just trying to get that efficiency together, it matters a lot. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing your last race on Tuesday, and hopefully you can pull down maybe what could be the biggest run of the tournament so far.
Yeah.
Hey, spoil it. We're looking for some spoilers, man.
I'll give it my shot at my best.
All right, thank you so much. EizanTayama, everyone. Again, if you like what you saw from him, go ahead and give him a follow here on Twitch. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for the evening. Big shout out to our restreamer Supremacy doing work behind the scenes. Also, our tracker Kendrell, and my wonderful co-commentator Demarine. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, it's again an absolute blast to be out here commentating these races. Got to see a little bit of Zemus-Zone history tonight. all the tools from Penguin8r. Again, fantastic runner taking the win tonight. ScratchDragon, a strong second place, so very exciting stuff. Again, we'll see you Tuesday, we'll see you Thursday, and then, that we'll be moving into preparation for round of 16. We're going to be off to raid Gyre, the best Final Fantasy 1 NES runner in the world. So he's a fantastic watch, so hopefully stick around and let's, give him some love.
All right, we're going to see you guys later, and we'll see you, everyone, at the next race. Have a great rest of your night.
Night, everybody.